Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and remember we always have that broke sheet where there are a lot of things like cooldowns, the new guides, and also the guide I'm going to make soon. Let's go into it. It's very good, remember, and very useful. Now, as for other things, you did know that we got a buff on the beginning of the week, Tuesday for NA and Wednesday for EU, and there was an overbuff, and they did fix this. That's why I'm making this video. So the time it was active was since NA went up until around 11 p.m. EU. That means that around 6 p.m. NA, so if you rated on the second day instead of the first day, you didn't have this overbuff already. And it seems sub did perform quite well in keys and in the raid, not stellarly, like for example Devastation Evoker and Hunter and other things, but it's still very good. Now, after some time, we are back to around the middle of the pack as expected. We did expect this when it was only the 5% buff, and we are around on par with Outlaw and Assassination in most bosses, and as bosses get shorter and shorter, Sublety likely will see some more play. Of course, if you are boosting more or doing other things like that, sub comes up a little bit. And on Moxie, it's still a little bit less useful than Assassination if the boss goes long enough for them to get two of the death marks, one with blood loss and one at the end. But if you only get one, for example, even we were not super DPS focused and Moxie still died in 6 minutes, that's still a good one for sub. Nothing crazy, but still there. As for other things like Mythic Plus, the only day that it was available, because also on EU it was 1 day and in a 1 day there were around like 400 or 500 keys. You can see some subs did do 19s and 18s, and the teams were kind of varied, and it seems it was doing fine. Now, after the buff, of course, and after the taking off of the overbuff, we are still doing fine in the keys. We were kind of good, like in Theater Pain and Workshop and places like that, because of things like Speed Shroud. Remember, this is a very strong thing that Solidity has, even in places like Rookery, where you can use it if you are only going sub. But sadly, everything like that does make it so you have more speed, but also you will do less DPS than Assassination. Also, depending on the comp, Assassination is better because it basically has more DPS, but as sub, you do get to use, let's say, what they call a physical comp that has, for example, Monk, Warriors, Druids, and of course the Shaman, very important for sub. That increase our DPS a lot and are synergistic. They also have more AoE, and sub in bosses can do very well. That is everything I wanted to say. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.